Hello friends, now I am starting the topic of business services part 1. This is your second chapter. So, first you understand what is called service. When we are doing something for others, we are getting some kind of the fees or charge. It is called service, right? Here we are not giving anything to anyone, but we are fulfilling need of others by doing some activity for others, as like the doctor, as like the engineer, as like the teacher. They are just giving some specific kind of the, they are just using some specific kind of the knowledge for other person for satisfying their requirement. So in that way, these activities are realized but nothing to be seen, right? Services could be experienced, but services cannot be seen. So it is unseen activity. But here just I want to include some examples of services. Right? So the first example is banking activity. Second one is insurance. Third one is postal courier. Fourth one is doing the activity of warehouse, means to keep the godown. Next one is transportation. So here you can understand so many examples we have, and all examples are giving us clearly understanding that services are just matter of experience. It is a activity to help others by charging someone, and it is useful to connect your other activities of economy like agriculture, like industries, like any other activity. So in that way you can understand very well that so many kind of activities are included now in services. Okay, now you understand one thing. If we are living in the present days, what is basic requirement of us? Think on your side to live the life. Is the basic requirement. But in case if we are being died without any kind of the future thinking, then what will happen? As a person we will die, but what will happen to our family after our death? The main question comes. The answer is sometime we need some kind of financial support which can help our family in our absence. See, anyone's death cannot be fulfilled by any kind of the help, because person's existence is always precious. It is invaluable. I repeat my word. Person's existence is always valuable. It is invaluable and precious. But If the person has died, some basic requirement is the family's safety. And for that point of view, one agreement is usually made between two different parties. One is giving a promise to the other that if the other person will die, he will pay specific amount to his family to manage self life, and the first person is asking to the other person for paying regularly specific amount up to specific years. So at the end, they can pay specific amount to their family. This specific amount is regularly paid by the other person is called premium, and the promise is given by the first person to the other one to pay specific amount to his family is called insurance. This is just understanding, right? So insurance is a contract between two parties for the purpose of giving or covering financial risk in case of loss of the life, and the financial amount will be paid to the person who has lost his life. That person's family will get money after his death, right? And for that purpose, he will pay regularly some specific amount. It is called premium. So, insurance is a one kind of the contract between two different parties. It is a written form of the contract between two different parties. So, in that way, you can say insurance is an activity of involving financial loss caused by that risk. So here just satisfying the basic requirement of the family is included, but actual death cannot stop. Remember, the life cannot be saved if the natural death is caused. Am I right? So in that way, insurance is just fulfilling the specific need but cannot save the life. So the life cannot be saved by insurance, but the family's life can be saved by specific contract. So the insurance is a contract. Is that clear? Okay, now I am discussing a question about it. Here I discuss first meaning of it, that we have already understood. And if you want to write down the meaning in the words properly, then the exact line is insurance contract in a written form is known as insurance policy. This is a definition of insurance policy. Insurance contract in a written form is called insurance policy. Okay. Second, I want to discuss now the principles. Principles means for which basic trust behind this whole process of insurance. See, ultimately it's a social activity. to save the family about their future. In that way, we need to think that everyone should be honest with each other, right? So, in that case, according to the law of contract, some specific principles are required to be followed when we are coming in discussion of insurance. The first principle is principle of utmost good faith, right? This is your first principle. Second one is principle of indemnity. I will discuss. Third, principle of insurable interest. And fourth, principle of subrogation. Right? So keep in your mind about all these four principles. And out of these four, principle of utmost good faith is the most important principle. It is possible to be asked in exam. Okay. The main objective of the insurance is not to make the profit first, but to compensate financial loss to the family due to arise by death of one person. So here you understand one thing. It is not a profitable activity, because I have earlier said that anyone's life cannot be valued. Means this is a social activity. Sometime in examination the question could ask that concept of insurance is which kind of concept? It is a social concept. Remember this line for 1 mark. So, parties involved with mutual and complete faith. Faith means trust on each other. Which kind of the trust? The one person is agree that I will say the truth. The second person is agreed that I will pay regularly specific amount, and you will pay the finally, in case of my death, finally specific amount completely to my family at last. This is ultimate contract between two parties. Am I right? So now you understand one thing. Here in this case, when the contract is come in existence, both parties are needed to provide required information to each other regarding the purpose of insurance. Here you can ask me what kind of information. Who is taking the insurance? He is needed to be provide information, then what is in his name, what is his birth date, any kind of the physical problem he has or not. Means these are basic requirements to explain. And other person who is agree to give specific amount at last to first person's family. He is required to say that what the specific amount he will give. It does not mean the exact amount, but nearby amount what he will give. So it is very much clear that the information's exchange from both the sides is needed to be done with honesty, and ultimately it is required to be followed in time, in process, honestly. So information, if not asked by the party, both needed to provide other whatever the information they have to explain regarding the activity of insurance. So insurance agreement is coming in force by providing proper information and consent to each other. So if any kind of the agreement happened, then it is needed that neither any fraud could be done by any of the party with each other, right? So it is called principle of utmost good faith. So good faith is there, it is one kind of trust, and when trust come in matter, it means the agreement arised. When the trust is done from both the sides, then the agreement arised. So in case of improper information, false information come in light, the policy or the agreement will be null and void. Null and void means the insurance will not come in existence, the contract will not come in existence. So in that situation, usually the promise is being broken by any of the party. Mainly the premium paying party is more important, to say the truth. So the whatever the premium has been paid, but if the contract has been breached means broken, then the final amount will not be paid to him, and losses of the right for compensation for the risk will be over. So usually good faith means the trust is required to be followed by proper way. Is that clear? So mainly whose responsibility is more? Who is paying the premium? Because at last his family has to get it. So nothing is required to be hid by the premium paying parties to the insurance taking company. The company who is agreed to take the insurance, in that situation he is required to be asked that are you satisfied? Means if they are agreed and the contract is done, then both are agreed to follow the process. But one has broken the promise, the other will not pay the complete amount. So in that case, contract will be at risk. Right? This is the first point, principle of utmost good faith. Now I am coming to the second point, principle of indemnity. This is most important topic of this question. So insurance is a contract. You know that it is made to compensate loss for which the amount is required to be paid. So the main objective of the insurance, here you have to remember the line. Main objective of the insurance is principle of indemnity. You can ask me the meaning of indemnity. Paying the money. The principle is usually decided on how much insurance company will pay to the insuree in the event of loss incurred. I repeat, the principle of indemnity used to decide how much insurance company will have to pay to the insured person in case of losing the life or the loss incurred. See, if the insurance has been taken for the theft, then it is necessary that the theft arise. If the insurance for the fire is taken, then it is necessary that the fire should happen. So whatever the reason the insurance has been taken, it is required to be happen. In that case, the amount will be paid, whatever the insurance company is agreed. So any person who takes the insurance policy is being compensated, means will get money for the loss, and in that situation it does not mean he is earning profit because he has incurred the loss. So to settle that loss, company is paying specific amount. So after the loss, he cannot incur any other benefit from the same loss. Here you remember the word any other benefit or the profit he cannot incur for being suffering the same loss. Means you cannot take two fire policies. You cannot take two different policies for the same loss as the theft. Theft is the only one incident. For two insurance companies, you cannot pay the insurance. If you are paying, but even then, the police station FIR will be used only at once, and it will be used. It cannot be returned back. So you cannot get the amount whatever you have paid for the theft policy from other one. So such policies are taken only from one company. Okay, in case of life, more than one companies can compensate to the insured person's family, right? So it is said that this is a one-line question. Which principle is not applicable to life insurance? Principle of indemnity is not applicable to life insurance. Remember this line, right? Okay. If the insured person is taking policy at lower value than original value, means the actual value of the product is 1000 rupee and he has been insured with only 900 rupees. It is a lower value. It is a lower value. It is implied that he will proportionately get lesser amount because here his product with him is of 1000 rupees and the insurance is been taken of only 900 rupees. So in that case, whatever the loss has been arised. Here the loss of 100 rupees, it will be bared by himself, right? So nobody could settle the actual loss. Okay. Here you understand very perfectly that any value of the product is not completely settled by actual insurance company, right? If the product is of 5 lakhs rupees, then the company will make the insurance of only 3 lakh rupees. So in that case, the damage of the 2 lakh will be inside of insured person, right? So the insurer will lose for that amount because he has taken the insurance of only 3 lakh rupees. Okay. Sometime the proportionate value the company decides that not 100% will come, 80% of the product price, I could say. So here if the 5 lakh rupees product, the 80% is being insured, it means maximum 80% of the 5 lakh means the 4 lakh rupees the insured person's family or the insured person will get in case of loss of that product by the specific reason. If the product is valued with life, is valued as a life, then complete 5 lakh rupees, whatever the amount is being decided. So in that case, company will pay full amount in case of life insurance because they have agreed to pay to the family specific amount, they will pay it, right? So this is principle of indemnity, which is clearly connected with proportionate value of the damage, and it is decided by the company that actual how much damage is. So here I have discussed the second principle of indemnity. Now the insurable interest. The third point, principle of insurable interest. The insurer must have financial interest in product insured. So if he has no ownership of the product, then no possibility of paying any money to the occupier because the ownership is must. Because if the owner is there, he has suffered the loss, so who will be the owner? He will get the money. So it is very clearly stated that the only owner, because the actual money has been paid earlier by the owner, so he will get the money, nobody else. Is that clear? This is called insurable interest, right? Only owner will get the insured amount, nobody else. Now I am coming to the last point, is principle of subrogation. Okay, a policy is taken for any specific product and it is fully damaged, then what do you think? Company will compensate or not? You will say yes, company will compensate. In that case, after paying the compensation, who will be the owner of the product? Whatever the damage rate, who will be the owner of the product? Naturally, insurance company, because they have already paid. So if the any damage to your vehicle has been happened, you will get the insurance amount, whatever the decided and the company has agreed. After that, company will take with them your damaged vehicle. It is their ownership after being paid to you. So in that case, they will carry with themselves. But now you can ask me question that in case of life, the body will not be taken, only the amount will be paid, right? Because after the funeral, everything is being processed. So the life insurance arise cannot be owned the body by the company. But in case of the any other product which can be assessed by financial paid amount, so in that case the company will hold the ownership after paying the insured amount. Is that clear? So here I discussed the question about principles relating to the insurance. Right, my friends?